You are not your past, you are your possibilities. Too often people allow the weight of yesterday to dictate the direction of tomorrow. They replay the mistakes, the failures, the rejections, as if those moments define their entire identity. But the truth is, those moments are only fragments of the story, not the whole book. You have chapters yet to be written, and those chapters hold within them opportunities for growth, success, and transformation. What happened in your past was real, but it is not final. It was a part of your journey, not the destination. Think about it. Every person who ever achieved something remarkable had a past filled with struggles and setbacks. They weren't defined by those moments, they were refined by them. The labels given to you, the opinions others spoke over you, the doubts you may have carried for years, none of those things are permanent unless you accept them as truth. Just because someone told you that you weren't good enough, smart enough, or capable enough, doesn't mean that's the end of the story. Those words don't have power until you decide to agree with them. What matters more is what you tell yourself moving forward. Your possibilities are far greater than your past because they are not limited by what has already happened. The past is fixed, but your future is fluid. You can shape it, mold it, and direct it with the choices you make today. Every time you decide to try again, to take a step forward, to believe in yourself, despite the scars of yesterday, you are proving that your possibilities are stronger than your pain. That's the difference between those who stay stuck and those who rise. One group believes their story is already written, while the other realizes they hold the pen in their hand. It is easy to get trapped in the mindset that because you failed before, you will fail again. But failure is not a definition, it is an event. It is a moment in time, not a lifetime sentence. The greatest breakthroughs often come after the greatest struggles. When you shift your perspective and see your past not as a prison, but as preparation, you begin to unlock the potential of your possibilities. What you've gone through has given you wisdom, resilience, and strength that can fuel your future if you choose to use it. No matter where you are today, you can decide to let go of the old story that has been holding you back. You can stop saying, "This is who I am," and start declaring, "This is who I can become." The past may have shaped you, but it doesn't have the authority to define the rest of your life. The real question isn't about what has already happened. It's about what you're willing to do with what's still possible. And as long as you're alive, there is still more inside you, more to achieve, more to give, and more to become. Pain can be the page turner of your life. When most people experience struggle, disappointment, or heartbreak, they interpret it as a sign that they should stop, retreat, or lower their expectations. But pain is not just an obstacle, it is often a signal that growth is taking place, that something new is being demanded of you, that the story of your life is ready to shift into a new chapter. Without discomfort, there is no reason to change. Without struggle, there is no reason to adapt. Pain presses you to move beyond where you are and into who you can become. Think of the times in your life when pain forced you to change direction. Maybe you lost an opportunity you thought was meant for you, only to discover later that it prepared you for something better. Maybe you faced rejection, and though it hurt deeply, it awakened a hunger inside of you to prove yourself and to rise above the doubts of others. These are not moments that break you, they are moments that shape you. Just as a diamond is formed under pressure, You too are refined in the moments of pain and challenge. What makes pain so powerful is the choice it demands. It can either paralyze you or propel you. Many people choose to sit in their pain, allowing it to become their permanent address. They replay the hurt over and over until it becomes their identity. But others make a different choice. They use pain as fuel, as motivation to climb higher, to dream bigger, to fight harder. They understand that pain is a teacher, and the lessons it provides are priceless if you are willing to learn. Pain also has a way of stripping away illusions. It reveals what really matters, who really cares, and what you truly value. Sometimes it takes losing something to appreciate what you still have. Sometimes it takes falling down to realize how much strength you carry to get back up. Every setback can open your eyes to a new level of gratitude, clarity, and determination. The story of your life does not advance without these turning points. Pain is the punctuation mark that forces you to pause, reflect, and then move forward with new direction. The truth is, no great comeback ever existed without a setback. No powerful transformation ever occurred without some kind of suffering or challenge leading the way. The struggle you are facing now might not make sense, but one day you will look back and see it as the very moment that shifted everything. The page of your life was turned not because you wanted it to be, but because pain insisted that you could not stay where you were. Pain is not here to end your story. It is here to remind you that your story is still being written, and the best chapters often come after the hardest battles. Too many people live their lives as if someone else is holding the pen, as if their destiny is already written by circumstances, opinions, or limitations they have accepted. They go through the motions day after day, allowing life to happen to them instead of creating life on their own terms. When you become just a reader of your story, you settle for what is given rather than what is possible. But the truth is, you were never meant to simply read. You were meant to write. You were meant to be the author, the one who takes control of the narrative and shapes it with intention, vision, and courage. Being the author means accepting responsibility for your life. It means no longer blaming the past, your environment, or the people who doubted you. Readers consume the story. Authors create it. Readers react to the plot. Authors design it. Every day you wake up, you are holding a pen, whether you realize it or not. The question is, are you consciously writing your story, or are you letting others scribble on the pages for you? When you decide to be the author, you step into a place of power where you no longer let old labels or temporary failures dictate the outcome of your life. It's easy to fall into the trap of waiting for things to change, waiting for the perfect moment, or waiting for someone else to rescue you. But no one is coming to write your next chapter. If you keep waiting, the story will keep repeating itself, and you'll stay stuck in the same pages. The turning point comes when you realize that the rewrite begins the moment you make a new decision. Even a small choice can start a fresh paragraph in your life. Choosing to believe in yourself, choosing to try again, choosing to push past fear. All of these are strokes of the pen that begin to transform the story. To be the author of your life, you must also dare to imagine what has not yet been written. Vision is the ink that fuels the pen. If you only see yourself through the lens of what has already happened, your story will remain predictable. But when you dare to envision a greater version of yourself, you create room for possibility. Every great author knows that the best stories are not confined to what is safe or expected. They are filled with bold moves, surprising turns, and characters who grow stronger with each challenge. The same applies to your life. When you take authorship, your past no longer has the power to hold you captive. Every mistake becomes a lesson, every failure becomes a plot twist, and every challenge becomes a chance to showcase resilience. You stop living as a victim of the story and start living as the creator of it. You discover that even if earlier chapters were filled with pain or disappointment, the ending can still be filled with victory, growth, and fulfillment. The pen is in your hand, and the pages ahead are blank, waiting for you to decide what they will say. Excuses are the anchors that keep you tied to yesterday, while vision is the force that pulls you into tomorrow. When people rely on excuses, they give power to circumstances instead of to themselves. They say things like, I can't because of where I came from, or I can't because I don't have enough resources, or I can't because I've failed before. Excuses feel safe because they justify staying the same. They let you avoid risk, avoid change, avoid the possibility of rejection. But excuses do not build a future, they only recycle the past. The moment you stop leaning on excuses and start leaning into vision, you begin to unlock the door to transformation. Vision is about seeing what doesn't yet exist. It's about creating a picture in your mind of who you can become and where you can go, even if your current reality doesn't reflect it. People without vision live according to their limitations. People with vision live according to their possibilities. Vision gives you a reason to push through pain, a reason to endure temporary setbacks, a reason to keep moving even when the road is difficult. Excuses close doors, but vision opens them. Excuses shrink your world, but vision expands it. There will always be reasons not to pursue your dreams. There will always be challenges, fears, and obstacles that whisper, you can't. If you listen long enough, you will convince yourself that it's true. But if you hold on to a vision that's bigger than your excuses, you'll find the courage to take action despite the doubt. You'll discover strength you didn't know you had. Vision fuels resilience. When you know where you're going and why it matters, you can endure almost anything to get there. Every person who has ever achieved something remarkable faced moments when excuses could have stopped them. They could have said, I don't have the money, I don't have the connections, I don't have the education. But instead, they chose to see a future where those limitations didn't matter. They let vision guide their steps. It didn't mean the road was easy, but it meant the road was worth it. Vision allowed them to rise above excuses and move toward a greater purpose. You can't rewrite your story if your pen is filled with excuses. Every excuse you accept writes another sentence of the same old chapter. But when you choose vision, you start a new page. Vision makes you intentional. It demands that you align your choices with where you want to go rather than where you've been. It requires courage, discipline, and persistence, but it also rewards you with growth, progress, and fulfillment. Excuses ask, why try? Vision asks, why not me? One keeps you trapped in the past, the other pulls you into your future. The decision is yours. Live in the shadow of excuses or in the light of vision. The people you surround yourself with play a major role in the direction of your life. Some individuals act like mirrors that reflect your greatness back to you, reminding you of your potential when you forget it. Others act like weights keeping you tied to old versions of yourself, repeating old stories, and limiting your growth. If you want to rewrite your future, you must be intentional about who has a voice in your life. You need editors of your greatness, people who will challenge you, inspire you, and help you refine the chapters you are writing. Many times, people stay stuck because they are surrounded by those who only remind them of their past. Friends, coworkers, or even family members may constantly bring up mistakes or failures, holding you hostage to chapters that should have been closed long ago. When you are trying to step into a new season, you cannot afford to be surrounded by voices that keep you anchored to an old identity. If someone always makes you feel small, unworthy, or incapable, then their presence in your life is not helping you edit toward your best story. Editors of greatness are different. They are people who see more in you than you see in yourself. They push you beyond comfort zones. They don't allow you to settle for mediocrity when they know you were made for more. They may not tell you what you want to hear, but they tell you what you need to hear. Sometimes they challenge your excuses, sometimes they remind you of your vision, and sometimes they simply encourage you to keep going when you feel like giving up. Their words and energy serve as fuel for your journey forward. It's important to recognize that not everyone can come with you into the next chapter. Growth often requires separation. As you rise, not everyone will celebrate you. Some people will feel threatened by your progress. Others will resent your change. And some will try to pull you back to who you used to be. This is why you must guard your environment carefully. Energy is contagious. And if you spend too much time around negativity, you will begin to absorb it. But if you surround yourself with positivity, with people who lift you higher, you will start to rise naturally. Finding editors of greatness also requires humility. You must be willing to receive correction, to be stretched, and to hear truth even when it stings. Growth does not come from comfort. It comes from being challenged. The right people in your life will not let you settle for less than what you're capable of. They will edit out the excuses, the doubts, and the fears, and help you write a story filled with courage, progress, and achievement. The company you keep is like the ink that fills your pen. It determines the tone, the quality, and the direction of the words you write. If you want your future story to be bold, inspiring, and impactful, then surround yourself with people who will help you craft it that way. The future does not begin tomorrow. It begins the moment you decide to act. Too many people delay their dreams, convincing themselves that one day they will start, one day they will change, one day they will chase the life they desire. But one day is not a day on the calendar. Waiting for the perfect time only keeps the pages of your life blank. The next chapter of your story starts today in the choices you make right now, in the courage you show right now, in the steps you are willing to take right now. No matter how messy the past chapters have been, they do not determine what comes next unless you allow them to. Every day, you are given the gift of a fresh page, an opportunity to write something new. It doesn't matter how old you are, how much you have failed, or how long you have been stuck. As long as you are breathing, you still have the power to turn the page and begin again. The mistake most people make is believing they need everything to be perfect before they start. They want the plan, the resources, and the approval before they move. But life does not reward hesitation, it rewards action. Starting today does not mean you have to do everything at once. It simply means taking the first step toward the vision you hold. Small actions compound over time, and those small actions become the building blocks of transformation. Writing a paragraph every day eventually creates a book. Saving a small amount every week eventually creates financial stability. Practicing a new skill consistently eventually creates mastery. Great outcomes are nothing more than the result of ordinary actions repeated with discipline. The key is to begin, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it feels uncertain. There will always be fear when starting something new. Fear is natural, but it should not be final. Fear is just a signal that you are moving beyond the boundaries of the familiar. And that's exactly where growth takes place. The decision to start today means you accept that fear will walk beside you, but you refuse to let it lead you. Every time you take action in the face of fear, you weaken its hold over you. The more you act, the stronger your confidence becomes, and the more momentum you build toward the future you want. The next chapter of your story cannot be written by intentions alone. It is written by decisions, commitments, and follow-through. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to have the willingness to begin. The courage to start today is the bridge between who you are and who you are becoming. Tomorrow is promised to no one, but today is already in your hands. The question is not whether you can rewrite your story. The question is whether you will take the pen and begin writing it now.